welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Matthew, I have brewed a deck around the card Reveillark. Matthew, much like myself, was playing a lot of Magic when Reveillark was standard legal. There was a Lorwyn block constructed PTQ season, and then Reveillark was just a standard deck for the 2 years we got with it. And I played Reveillark in all of those formats for the entire duration. 4 and a white for a 4/3 flying elemental. When it leaves the battlefield, return up to 2 target creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it evokes for 5 and a white. This is the rare case, the inversion, where the spell mode, the death trigger, they did this in Eventide and Morningtide, the second half of the Lorwyn block. They put death triggers rather than enters triggers on the elementals, and they made the evoke cost more than the creature. And Reveillark is one of the rares in that cycle. I think this is one of my favorite Magic cards ever. It's just so sick at what it does. Like 4/3 flying for 5 is not embarrassing on its own, and then it makes you think about every creature with power 2 in the format. Are you playing this for value? Are you playing this for combo? Should you cast it on 5? Should you wait to evoke it on 6? I actually had a play design interview with Wizards of the Coast once, and they asked me to come up with cards that I think are basically perfect designs to balance a standard format around, and Reveillark was the first on my list that I gave them. And the Modern card pool is full of dope shit to do with Reveillark. The temptation to go full combo is there. The temptation to go full value is there. And I did my best to do both, because with Underworld Breach being the #1 deck in the format right now, all competitive decks can fight the graveyard in their main deck with Soul Guide Lanterns or Thraben Charms or Kozilek's Commands or whatever it is. You can't just be a full send graveyard combo deck. But I do have that mode. Buried Alive. Search a library for up to 3 creatures, put them in your graveyard, then shuffle. A package like Reveillark, Kiki-jiki, Reveillark Guardian. If you then persist the Reveillark, non-legendary by the way, then if your opponent ever interacts with your Reveillark, or if you sack it to something else, they're dealing with an infinite kiki-jiki combo. Karmic Guide is something you can dump. If you dump Reveillark, Karmic Guide, Muldrifter, if you have a sack outlet, you can sack the Reveillark, getting back Karmic Guide, Muldrifter, sack Muldrifter, Karmic Guide for 2 damage. The Karmic Guide on entry reanimated the Reveillark, and that's an infinite loop with Goblin Bombardment. With Viscera Seer, that finds you whatever you want in your deck. It doesn't kill outright, but it's there. Reveillark is also a leaves the battlefield trigger, not a dies trigger, so Ephemerate will trigger your Reveillark. Reveillark Guardian will trigger your Reveillark. That's a overlapping synergy with your kiki-jiki endgame. And the deck is otherwise just full of sweet cards that are either currently Modern playable or close to Modern playable anyway. Fortunately for me, 2 of the top 5 decks in the format, one of them is a red-white Goblin Bombardment value deck, and the other is a black-white Creature Enter Flicker deck, and I was able to borrow technology from all those decks. Tidehollow Sculler is disruption that you can also get back with Reveillark. Sculler is also really good with Goblin Bombardment or Ephemerate, because Sculler is templated in the old way. When it enters, exile a non-land card from your opponent's hand. Period. Line break. When this leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. Nowadays, cards like this are templated, take the card until this leaves the battlefield, which solves the problem of you can't kill it in response to its trigger, or else you just lose 2 cards. But Tidehollow Sculler, old school, if you sack Goblin Bombardment, 2 Goblin Bombardment, or Ephemerate it, or flicker it in any other way, with its enters trigger on the stack, it will return a card, which it has not taken yet, so that is met. Then it will take a card from its new trigger, that one's under the Sculler, and then it will take a card permanently from the original trigger, and there's no way to get that one back. That's a trick we got in here. The 3 Thoughtseize for Sculler, just beating up the opponent's resources in the early game as we set up a Buried Alive or a Seasoned Pyromancer, pseudo Buried Alive that also comes back with Reveillark. This is just value on top of value with cool creatures and fun conditional removal. I hope this deck holds up because I had a lot of fun building it, and it looks like it's going to be fun to play. And before folks go in the chat, where's the Venser? Where's the Riftwind Cloudskate? Where's the Body Double? Where's this? Where's that? I promise I thought about every one of those cards, and at the end of the day, you have to pick the 60 you want to play for this particular league. If you have another way you would have built this deck, go build it, have fun. I'm sure it's going to be dope. But this is what I've done today, and let's get into it. I'm on the play in round 1. I have 2 lands, but they're both white. I am going to mulligan this. This hand is fun. I will keep it. And I'm probably gonna bottom the Buried Alive and just focus on the normal Magic cards in my hand rather than going to the combo. Obviously on 7, this hand would just do both, exactly how we drew it up. But if I have to choose whether I'm gonna combo or value, I will value first and figure out combo later. I'm going to use Bloodstained Mire first because there are lands in my deck that Bloodstained Mire misses. Bloodstained Mire and Flooded Strand are the bad fetch lands. Arid Mesa and Marsh Flats are the good ones in this build. Hey, we've got an Ocelot Pride in the chat. I'm going to fetch for Raucous Theater. Felidar Guardian. I'm not quite ready for that, and any creature I dump in the graveyard now is Reveillark Fuel later. Alright, well that showed up in the wrong order. I could take a turn off to Thoughtseize them, get another Surveil land, and then I can Ephemerate my Sculler next turn. I think I'd rather Sculler them though, just get the thing on the board. Right, their hand is only 1 removal spell. I will take the Discharge, and then they'll have to decide how they want to use their resources next turn. They could just shove Ragavan into my creature. They could play Goblin Bombardment and invest in the future. They've dashed the Ragavan. If they attack with both, I'm blocking the Pride. But if they attack with just Rag, I'll take the trade. Well, functionally here, Tide Hollow Sculler took Ragavan and Time Walk them. I'm okay with that interaction. I'm going to leave Ragavan revealed to remind myself that Galvanic Discharge is there. Goblin Discharge. Gross. Okay, I was just going to say I would like to find a land, and I did. That lets me Ephemerate Muldrifter next turn. I'd like to Thoughtseize my opponent now. Life total getting a little dicey here. And I have to Fetch Shock to get blue next turn. I think Goblin Bombardment is the card I want to play against the least here. The Discharge could break up my Ephemerate next turn if they draw a land. I have Witch Enchanter in my hand, but I can't really afford to use it. Yeah, Bombardment breaks up Muldrifter Ephemerate anyway, because they have Ocelot Pride. Alright, I'll take the Bombardment. And I will play the Marsh Flats. That gives me decisions to fetch blue, pain-free, if they don't tap out here. Because if they don't tap out, then I don't need Ephemerate. And if they do tap out, I can pay the 3 life to get it. Yikes. That was a fucked up draw. Well, they got to leave up Galvanic Discharge while adding to the board. The worst possible outcome. I'm going to get Hallowed Fountain here tapped. Another Muldrifter. Well, I'm not just going to shove Ephemerate into Galvanic Discharge. Emperor of Bones. That's probably going to show up late. Witch Blessed Meadow, play that tapped, and pass. Ah, that's freaking Ocelot Pride. That was such a stupid draw. I think that's going to kill me. I could have waited through some of the... If they had just passed and had fewer Ocelots, now the party's over. They Fetch Shock, Ranger Cap, Tutored Ragavan, that's more damage. They hit the City's Blessing on the second Ocelot. I don't have any Sweepers main, and I'm not quite set up to combo. Pretty sure I'm just dead here. Okay. They are capping me in the upkeep. I can't Thoughtseize. I can enter the Bone Zone. Do I play any 1-drops? I have Viscera Seer in my deck. I could tutor. I don't even have double black. I can't actually enter the Bone Zone. Yeah, they can just attack, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then play Flage, and then I lose. Alright, well, I'll play the Emperor at least. Start of combat, exile Ranger Cap. Maybe they'll do something stupid, like pre-combat, cast Flage, try to kill Emperor of Bones rather than just burn me out at the back end. Then I can Ephemerate and survive a turn. Dash Ragavan. This sequence will put me to 1. Block Ragavan. Should I Ephemerate here? That flushes out the Discharge, but doesn't kill Ragavan. Alright, whatever. I'm at 1. Okay, there is no way to win this game, but I will take a draw and pretend that there is. Okay. Yeah, that one turn where we made a decision about either force them to spend their mana a certain way or play awkwardly and they drew a thing that was perfect. That's fine. That's magic. It happens. Wrath of the Skies, March of Otherworldly Light coming in. I have stuff like this in the sideboard for matchups like this one. White Orchid Phantom, not important here. Buried Alive is good eventually, but I don't want it in my hand in the early game. Like we saw that game, I bottomed one off the mulligan and then drew another one and died with it still in my hand. Not ideal. I think Scholar's a little awkward against a deck with this good removal, and Thoughtseize is awkward against a deck with this much redundancy and so much life total pressure. I'll just move off a little bit of those and leave the rest of this stuff intact. Let's get it. I like this hand. I'll keep it. I think I'm just going to Thoughtseize them off basic Swamp. Protect the life total. Do what I can here. I have mana. Guide of Souls, Ragavan. I think I'm more worried about Ragavan at this point. Windswept Teeth. I suspect we'll see Guide of Souls unless they draw Ocelot Pride again. There it is. Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay. I think I'm going to save the Raucous Theater. Or no, I would have to play that if I want to guarantee double red next turn. All right, I'll play Raucous Theater. I was trying to see if I could get Goblin Bombardment in the mix, and I cannot. Opponent has Goblin Bombardment in the mix. They just got a 1-2 for now. We know Ranger Cap can show up next turn. I'm going to take my beats for this Seasoned Pyromancer getting Sacred Foundry. And I'm going to discard Arid Mesa, and I'm deciding between Guardian and Bombardment because Felidar Guardian flickering Seasoned Pyromancer is a play next turn. That sets up future things. Alright, I am going to discard Bombardment and Mesa. Down to Wrath, that's really good. Okay, cool. Another Guide. Okay. Hopefully that makes their mana awkward and they don't have just great spells to cast here. Hope they have great spells to cast, it seems. I can kill things that cost 2 or less if they just dump out a bunch of rando permanents here. Dashing Ragavan. Are they gonna... They'll probably just not attack with that. Attack with Guide and zoop it up. Okay, yeah. That was a tactical Ragavan, which unfortunately is really good here. So it dodges the Wrath. Oh, but I can Wrath and leave Seasoned Pyromancer alive. That's pretty sick. Yeah, if I Wrath for 2, my blocker's intact. And then I can cast Muldrifter on the following turn. Except my blocker's not intact because they can Goblin Bombard it on the way out. Hold on. Alright, second main. How bad is getting hit with Ragavan here? I have to go to 8 to play the Wrath. I do have a basic Plains in my deck, but if I'm going to cast Muldrifter on the following turn, that's not even true. I go to 8, then I go to 6, and I'm facing down Goblin Bombardment, and Dashed Ragavan is still alive, and I have nothing. Oh no, Bombardment will go with the Wrath. Okay, I will Wrath for 2. Sucks to suck. Okay, so they're sacking their creatures. I could just not Wrath now. Oh wait, it's going to kill my token regardless. That's so annoying, even if I pay 0. I would rather have a token in play than not. Okay, I guess I'll pay the 2 then. It is fascinating how this Boros energy deck, even though it is like ostensibly just a bunch of creatures, can just checkmate any maneuver if they draw their cards correctly. Like if this Ragavan was just Ocelot Pride or Guide of Souls, I would not be so worried. But this is the perfect object, dodged my Wrath while adding to the board last turn, which were the 2 things they needed to do. My Karmic Guide was just exiled by the Ragavan, so that's out. I could go to 5 to play Muldrifter. That's risky versus any kind of removal spell. I would be at 5. Rag dashes me to 2. Whatever. I'm putting Muldrifter into play. The alternative is leaving up Exile Seasoned Pyromancer as a play. And we're just shoving stuff into play. I'd rather do it like this. Play to win, right? Okay, Reveillark is here, and I do have 6 mana. It sucks that the Karmic Guide got exiled. Not quite infinite. Static Prison. Okay. I have Skyclave Apparition, but I am going to be at 3. I'm dead to a Flage here. I'm also out of basics, so I can't fetch Shock anymore this game, which means Reveillark's back off. They exiled Solitude. It's one of the better cards I could have drawn. Okay. The good news is they can't remove Reveillark. The bad news is if they have Flage, they don't have to. I guess if they have... What would they have to have? Raven Charm. Great. All right. Yep. Just dead for Xaxes. I think 1 life I could stabilize this game. All right. Well, this was a series of opponent having exactly what they needed at all times, even after getting Thoughtseized. And that's fine. I'm not going to feel bad about losing a game like that. So close to kicking in the engine here, though. The Buried Alive is in hand. I can Felidar the Reveillark next turn, get Seasoned Pyromancer, Felidar either Reveillark or Seasoned Pyromancer again, and then zoom. All right, cool. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2. The kiki-jiki is a much later situation, but I have my mana under me and some selection built in with the Surveil lands. White Orchid Phantom is a useful card in multiple matchups. Ephemerate's a good one, especially with that Solitude in my hand. Island. Tamiyo. Alright, well... Island Tamiyo. I can't White Orchid Phantom here, effectively. I can pitch Solitude and Ephemerate it, but I'd rather kill 2 creatures, so I kind of hope my opponent plays an Emery this turn, and then I just get to smoke them. Okay, Emery mana is represented. Emery now costs 1. We're breaching, baby. Preordain. Could still play Emery this turn. They can also flip Tamiyo this turn. Am I worried about that? Would I respond to that? Haywire Might. Okay, they have 2 creatures. That's all I needed to make a move. End step. Get the Raucous Theater. Muldrifter. I do like that. Yeah, I think that's the eventual reload situation. It kind of stinks because I'm a little worried about this Urza Saga and I'm about to pitch my best answer to it. I could just Solitude the Tamiyo and then White Orchid the Saga. Yeah, this kind of sucks. This is why Breach is so good. They just have... I have to worry about this creature, this land, and dying out of their hand all at the same time. Okay, well, I don't have to do anything right now. I can go to my turn. I don't have triple white to flicker White Orchid Phantom anyway. I could just play Godless Shrine, kill the Urza Saga, and move on with life. Or, I think I actually want to fetch Hallowed Fountain and do that. Alright, fetch Hallowed Fountain. White Orchid Phantom. This lets Tamiyo stick around for a little while, but I think that's okay. This Ephemerate and this White Orchid Phantom are both high value. They didn't even have a basic. The full Strip Mine. Okay, pass the turn. End step, Lightning Bolt. Don't have the Ephemerate ready. That's okay. Bobbling me. This is 1 card for Tamiyo. So Tamiyo, it can flip this turn if they want her to. And at that point, I'll have to make a decision if I want to wade through this Planeswalker or not. Okay. I'm going to let them have the Planeswalker because I'm a combo deck, not really an aggro deck. Thoughtseize. We like that card a lot. Okay, I'm going to shock in Godless Shrine, and then I'm going to evoke Muldrifter, and I'm going to see what my cards look like before I make any decisions after that. Okay, draw 2 cards. We'll start with that. Solitude, Ephemerate. I'm just going to Ephemerate Muldrifter, because I'm untapping into Solitude mana anyway. They missed a land drop last turn. If they want to buy back Lightning Bolt and Bolt Muldrifter off their Tamiyo this turn to deny my Ephemerate value, that's like not that scary use of a turn. Mox Opal, floating. They could also just try to breach me here. Uh-oh. I hope this is a value breach and we're not just dead. I don't see Malevolent Rumble in the mix. That's the card I would be worried about killing me here. Okay, Opal. 2 cards left in the graveyard right now. Okay, so we're dead? Shit. All right, well, that's what I get for not thought seizing. I actually have... No, I don't. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I was about to say I have a line here. I could Solitude the Haywire Might and take them off Metalcraft, but that's not even true because the Opal is the 3rd artifact each loop. My opponent asked me if they want me to click through it. Are you just going to sit here and let your clock run out if I don't answer? Like, how reasonable is it that they mess this up? Like, what would they have to do? They'd have to crack their clue and then not have access to 2 artifacts ever again? Yeah, I need to see their win con too. Like, some have Oracle, some have Grape Shot. That matters. They're only floating blue, though. Yeah, asking for a concession here. I understand not wanting to click through it, and you are basically here, but I literally get to see your deck as you play out the combo. So, like, this is one of those things that even if you're dead, you should absorb the information you're being presented. Like, how many sagas they have versus how many preordains. There are materially different builds of this deck. And here they have Emery plus Mox Amber. If they try to make a pivot onto Emery stuff, like that was an opportunity that maybe Solitude could break it up. They didn't fall for it, but it was there. Okay, Emery from hand. Mill, hit Soul Guide Lantern. Another Emery. Oh, Emery looping Emery matters. 2 Emerys from hand. Okay, Thassa's Oracle. Now I have the information I need to concede. All right. Okay, we've got March, Wrath, Elish Norn, Wear Tear, Stony Silence, Damping Sphere. Big ol' sideboard for this deck because it's the best deck in the format. Do I have 11 cuts? I'm going to be honest, I didn't map this out carefully, but I'm sure we can figure it out. The Solitude does matter. I have to leave in 2 Reveillarks as part of the Brew Challenge, and I probably would anyway, but going down to the minimum 2 is required. Emperor of Bones is good. White Orchid Phantom is good against Saga. If I'm cutting all the Buried Alives, I could cut all the Persists as well. Like, they're a better combo deck than me. I have to focus on the Mardu value side of the deck. I think Felidar Guardian can get shaved. I still have the combo. I just can't shove it into my graveyard all at once with Buried Alive. I think I'm going to cut Kiki-jiki as well. Solitude, Muldrifter, Ephemerate. Ephemerating Witch Enchanter is a way I can blow out Breach mid-combo. Maybe I am going to shave an Ephemerate. And is there a card here that I wouldn't bring in? I mean, they're all good. Just what is the critical mass at which I can stop? I guess without Kiki-jiki in, we're just off Felidar Guardian entirely. It's 11 card pile. Not sexy for content, but these are the kind of things you have to do when there is a obvious busted bannable deck in the format. Okay, I will keep... Honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, the more annoying it is that they asked me to concede. I'm going to be honest here. I'm not tilting off over it or anything, but a combo where you have to reveal your deck while you're going off that you chose to register. If you don't want to click through it, you can play a different deck. Whatever, I'm over it. Steam Vents, Bauble. A White Orchid Phantom I will be saving for Urza Saga. Solitude. Do I want this? I think so. There are enough angles of their deck that seems reasonable. And they're going to Bauble and see it. That's fine. My hand right now is 4 removal spells, Reveillark, and the lands to cast them all. Arid Mesa, pass. I'm going to fetch Hallowed Fountain tapped in the end step here. March can kill Breach mid-combo. Stomping Ground, just Teamer lands over there. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Another March, all right. I will pass. Probably next turn, if I'm not able to just play land go, I will play White Orchid Phantom. Well, there's their 1 land. All right, Jace Wielder. Skyclave can kill that. That's fine. They milled 2 and drew a card. I don't actually want to fetch because I would like to draw land here. No, that doesn't matter. I will like to draw land, actually. And I did. Okay, Skyclave Apparition. Take out Jace. That just comes in versus all decks when you're Breach. They can get a 4-power creature if they remove my Apparition, but then I have a target for the Solitude they know I have. Bolt happens, that's fine. Now I have a Reveillark target. Tamiyo, end step. I think I just grabbed my basics here. White, black. I already have, yeah, that I have double red, double black, triple white, and the blue pip. March this Tamiyo up out of here. Yeah, he flushed out a Spell Pierce. That's not too bad. Stony Silence, hello. Well, I'll just play that then. And we can do this version of the game. I think I'm okay taking a hit from the illusion. Okay, so they have this. That's fine. Now I'm a little more worried about Tamiyo. But I will hold my horses still. Be patient. I don't want to lose to the combo. Just the squeeze that this deck puts you in. I'd love an Ephemerate or a 6th land. Those are the 2 cards that just unlock me here. Emery. There's that one. Milled over a Breach. There's a Bauble in the graveyard. Okay. Do I want to march? And if so, what? I could just march the illusion for the cheaps. I'm very worried about Emery. All right, I'm gonna march Tamiyo, exiling nothing. Better late than never, right? Okay, that happened. I drew the land after I said I wanted the land, so they know I have Solitude. I understand I could just lose to the combo here, but I also just will eventually lose to this Emery. Okay, well, they breached me. They got me in the breach squeeze where I couldn't manage all the things they were doing. And now if they cast the card Underworld Breach, I could lose. Sweet. This is a value breach right now, but it is a lot of value. So they can Bolt, Tamiyo, and then Bauble twice. And if they have Malevolent Rumble, they probably just win. If they have a Grinding Station in hand, now they would need another mana to come up with that. Top bottom to Preordain. In for 4. And now they can play Tamiyo or Preordain again. All right, Tamiyo's back. All right, the Breach just drew 4 cards. Casual. I think I would like... Does it even matter? Triple red. I have triple white. There are lines that need that. Double black, triple black, quadruple white, triple red. There's not really any triple red lines in the deck. I think I'm going to get Godless Shrine. Muldrifter. I like that. Okay. Cast it the hard way. I'm going to leave up Godless Shrine that I just searched for, because that has the most 1-drops that are relevant that I could play. Like Ephemerate. Sweet. Okay. This is an important turn to survive. 2 of the breaches are gone already, but they did just reload their hand. I think I'll just take 4. I'm going to save this Ephemerate, because I have the Reveillark here. Mox Amber. Drawing a card. That's 2 draws this turn. Mox Opal. And they've passed. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to start by entering the Bone Zone. The Bone Zone can exile Bauble from their graveyard, and this is big enough to challenge the illusion. I'm not going to attack. I am going to play White Orchid Phantom. They only had 1 basic game 1, so this is probably going to be Strip Mine. And I'll go after Steam Vents. They floated a red and didn't use it. Starting to get the hooks in. I have 2 flyers here, so they must have a plan to draw cards. Block, block. Or they just forgot how flying works and put their Tamiyo in the graveyard. I'll take that too. Bunch of mana in the pool. Fire Spout. Okay, this is with red and green. I can adapt my Emperor here, so I will. Okay, just spending multiple cards to deal with the board, that's fine. This is where Reveillark thrives. Stony Silence, okay. That might be the correct safe play here. I could Muldrifter, Ephemerate, then play Stony. I have Skyclave Apparition in the graveyard, though, so flickering Reveillark also breaks up Breach combo. Okay, the big finish revealed. That's the 14. 2 cards in hand and a Surveil pending. Kept the card. There's a Spell Pierce in their graveyard, though, so Ephemerate doesn't actually even beat Breach here. Cracking a Clue. That takes them off Opal, and they're not even on Amber anyway. Grinding Station turns these things back on. Okay. That can resolve. Now if they play a Breach. They don't have any mana floating. Okay. All right, just checking here. Amber, there are no legendary creatures or planeswalkers. Okay, so they must have another opal in hand. All right. Underworld Breach can resolve. They're sacking their Amber to mill 3. I should just respawn now, right? Before they can replay Amber? Before they get any value out of this? Yeah, I'll ephemerate Reveillark right now. Get back Skyclave Apparition and Muldrifter, or Bone Zone. Muldrifter. Exile your Breach. And they mill 3, can't play any cards. If they attack, I'll block with Reveillark. Okay, yeah, block. Get Emperor of Bones and White Orchid Phantom back. We did it. We had a LARK game. I'll destroy their Thundering Falls. I'm not even sure if it matters. Slowly taking them off red. Okay, Rebound. I would like another Muldrifter, please. Drannith, Tide Hollow. Exile Temio from this graveyard. That doesn't matter. Exile Amber. All right, I'll exile Amber. Attack. And then I'm just gonna like Sculler them twice and play one of my lock pieces. Okay, sweet. It's skin of my ass, but survive that one. Ephemerate's so good. I spent that whole game wishing I had an Ephemerate, and then when I drew it, the game really broke open for me, and I have one in the sideboard right now. Is that correct? Is that how that game went, or is that how things are going to be? All right, I think I like my construction. I just want all those sideboard cards in. Excellent Reveillark Showcase, though. Let's go. Keep. I have both Ephemerates. Now I need creatures to go with them. They have a Bauble. I am going to play the Raucous Theater now. Viscera Seer. I don't think I need that. If I find a Reveillark at some point, it can return Viscera Seer and start a loop, but that's not a card I just want kicking around. Thundering Falls, dumped a Preordain. Still sitting on this Mishra's Bauble. They must have Emery. Oh my goodness. Emery did not mill any artifacts, but they have the Bauble already. Arid Mesa, Marsh Flats. Flats gets both my basics. Arid Mesa is the worst one here of the two. I'm going to get Hallowed Fountain and play Stony Silence. We've seen Nature's Claim in their deck, but we've also seen Spell Pierce sliding this through while the Getting's good. It's at least going to resolve, and then we'll see if it's still in play after that point. Making my way up to the Mother. All right, immediately claimed. That's fine. Dumped another Emery with a Surveil Land, and now they have the tap draw a card every turn, engine going. Now is when I really need the deck to deliver a good one. All right, and it did. Cool. Do I pitch the Karmic Guide or the Ephemerate? If I play Goblin Bombardment, that might flush out a Spell Pierce. All right, I'll start with this. Didn't fight over it. They can't pierce Solitude. Okay, I am going to pitch Karmic Guide to exile Solitude here before they get to untap. And I am not going to Ephemerate this, though. That does make it hard for them to play cards next turn. Okay, I will go for an Ephemerate on this, actually. I'm going to get Sacred Foundry. This is mostly a burnt Ephemerate, but if they... So they bolted Solitude, okay. I will deal one to them on the way out. That's okay. That Ephemerate was pretty low impact anyway, but I do feel behind at this point. I need one of my value creatures. I need to draw a Muldrifter to get things going, or just like runner lands while they do nothing until Elish Norn can resolve. I don't like my position. Preordain. Bottom. Shocked-in Steam Vents. Is this a full cost Emery? It is. Another one. Mox Opal, Thassa's Oracle in the graveyard. Hello. I love drawing good cards right when it matters. Gotta hope the Stony Silence now gets me up to Elish Norn. Elish Norn stops both Thassa's Oracle and Grinding Station. That's why I brought it in here. Fetching land number 5. The hell is this? Did Jace leave up a mana? Underworld Breach can cast Nature's Claim and then I lose? Shit. Well, I guess the game is over. Or there's no Grinding Station yet. But that is a lot of value in this Emery. Targeting Opal with Emery. That is not on. Doesn't currently do anything. A Rumble or a Station are the cards I'm worried about here. Or there's Rumble in the graveyard. So they can rumble their way into a grinding station, and there's plenty of baubles in the graveyard to turn on this opal and get to 2 mana from there. Yeah, I don't know their hand, obviously, but they at least have a rumble here that could win the game. Bauble, rumble. Okay, here we go. Did not reveal a grinding station. There are 2 more breaches and a shifting woodland there, though, so they're going to be able to breach forever. They chose Underworld Breach. That's 3 of those accounted for. Bauble. They can rumble again. This one would have to hit the grinding station and an opal or amber. But they have to exile Thassa's Oracle to do it, unless they bauble first, which risks Metalcraft. Okay, so they're actually at a tight little squeeze here. And they have decided to delete the Oracle. They found Amber, Bauble, 2 Misty Rainforests here. We know there's a Jace in their deck somewhere. They took Amber. This can rumble again now. Or no, this doesn't make green. They can play this Bauble from the graveyard, draw 3 more cards off this breach ultimately, and then pass the turn, untap with 7 cards and another breach in hand. The Oracle being gone is interesting. They're down to 26 cards in their deck too, which is a count. Wow, Seasoned Pyromancer. That card's actually sick here. It's going to cost me my hand, but I will have 3 points to shoot with Goblin Bombardment. Witch Enchanter. That's something I can use in the future. I know that they have Breach in hand, and Breach could just recast Emery. I don't think I can just kill Jace here. Does killing Emery even matter? I think I'm just going to pass. There's a Bauble targeting me. Okay, I will kill Emery. They're floating a blue, so that's a legend gone. But this big pile of baubles, they're going to have so much mana. Breach, Emery being in their graveyard being a reload for Breach is a little dicey. But I did just take them off mana and a free redraw. With 22 cards left in the deck, the cards in their deck actually do matter here. All right, Rumble found Jace. They're going to need that to win. They did take Jace. Can they get enough mana here with the cards left in their deck? There are 18 cards in their deck and 9 in the graveyard. Here's Breach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. 7. And before you ask opponent, yes, I would like you to click through it. This seems like something that they could mess up. Yeah, they still don't have a grinding station. Rumble. Still haven't found a grinding station. That's Tamiyo, Sync. They can't take the Sync, so Tamiyo, they chose Mox Opal. They can loop Rumbles for 1 mana. That might be the plan here. Another Rumble. They took a Bauble. They do have exactly enough mana right now to cast Jace. But they have plenty to do out of the graveyard. Yeah, they have it here. This is their last face-up green, though. Rumbled into Amber, Bolt, Breach. They chose no cards. Want that graveyard full. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 1. 1, 2, 3. That's 2. Yeah, this is actually close. They might just have it. I'm not like a super Breach expert, but I can recognize here that this is not necessarily easy or foolproof. Okay, Opal. And there's no window where I can shoot this Eldrazi spawn. They'll just float the mana and use it. They don't have to win this turn, though. They're under basically no pressure. If they just like put Jace into play, took him up to 5 loyalty, what would I even do? All right, there he is. So he can mill 2 and draw a card. That puts 4 cards in the graveyard. They've hit Grinding Station. So now they actually do just win. No, because there's not enough cards in the graveyard. If they stack this Bauble, then they don't have Metalcraft. Okay. This is so tight. Oh, they had a station in their hand all along. And if they sack Mishra's Bauble, they win. Okay. If you would draw a card, yeah, okay. You got it. Yeah, a lot to manage. That's why it's the best deck in the format. I feel like we composed ourselves honorably and made a real fight out of that. On to the next round. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. On the draw for round 3, I like my hand. I'll keep it. A Wooded Foothills and a pass. Good chance this is Breach again. How do I get all my colors out of 2 lands? It's Steam Vents and Godless Shrine. Does that actually cast the spells I need it to? That doesn't cast Scholar. Hallowed Fountain, Blood Crypt. That does cast Scholar. Okay, Hallowed Fountain, Blood Crypt. Alright, I will fetch Blood Crypt and Thoughtseize my opponent right now. Crypt, Thoughtseize, start the game at 15 life. Hope it's worth it. Oh, okay, Ruby Storm. My deck basically does not play removal, and they have both Ral and Ruby here. So how do I stuff this? I could just take Past in Flames, exile with Emperor Bones immediately. If they have Ruby and Ral in play, though, things get crazy. They have 2 impulses. I can't bottleneck them there. It might just be Manamorphose. Alright. Well, I don't feel good about this game. Modern's really powerful, it turns out. I dumped another Ral off Elegant Parlor. Scalding Tarn. Was that even in the hand when I saw it? No, they drew the land. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Here, I'm going to get the Hallowed Fountain as planned and work my way up to Skyclave. Now that I have the 3rd land, not taking one of the rubies feels icky, but whatever. Beginning of combat, exile that Manamorphose. Good chance I just lose right now. Ren's Resolve, hit a Ritual, and they're off. Drew a Manamorphose, yeah, yep, okay. The Thoughtseize bug, going strong this league. Hit a 3rd Manamorphose. I was trying to bottleneck their mana, and the 2 cards, or they hit a Ritual, and then had a Manamorphose, then hit another Manamorphose, and now they're off. Unsuccessful bottleneck. Another Impulse. Hit a Wish. And a land. Ritual. This is good for Past in Flames, and then they can replay that whole graveyard. And the Wish is just already here. The good news is I never would have gotten to the Skyclave Apparition, even if I had taken Ral. Another Ritual. Ral flips for 10. Alright, yeah. I believe you. You win. Whatever. Okay, the sideboard. Damping Sphere, Drannith Magistrate, Wear Tear are good enough. March kills Ral or Ruby. Don't need White Orchid Phantom. I actually think this matchup is not that bad. Just keeping that game 1 hand when I wasn't ready for it is pretty bad. Yeah, I feel like kiki-jiki is just the clunkiest part of the deck. I'm going to shave that whenever I need to. One of the Reveillarks versus this combo deck that can win on turn 3. Leave 2 of them in for a value. I kind of like having the Buried Alives and Persist so I could move towards my own combo. That's how I have to win this game. Maybe I shape 1 Bombardment here. Okay, going in. I will keep this hand. Powerful Interaction. I do have access to basic planes if I'm willing to give up on black. Flooded Strand doesn't get the Surveil land that I'd want, so I'm going to hold on to Flooded Strand. I can get black with it, but I could also get basic planes with it if I'm worried about getting Blood Mooned. Arid Mesa. Zap and Steam Vents, play Damping Sphere. Shields are up. Oh no, am I getting Spell Pierced? They were ready for anything. Okay, that sucks. Shields are down. I can answer a Ruby with March or a Ral with Solitude. Oh, we're not quite in the Garbo here. Okay, sweet. Now I have access to both of my basics. I don't even know if these decks play Blood Moon. They can. Sometimes they do. Frequently they don't. Reckless Impulse, hit Ruby, Ren. Okay, I'm not playing around Blood Moon, especially now that I have 3 mana. I can answer it. I'm going to get Elegant Parlor. Don't need another Solitude. I already have one of those. In a matchup where it is medium. And Marsh Flats could get the other Surveil land. Just treading water here. Making my valiant effort. They did miss their last land drop. They found it now. So they can play Ruby and Ren's Resolve here. Just from exile. And I don't get priority to remove the Ruby till the Resolve is on the stack. I am going to march this thing before anything else can go poorly. Resolve, hit Manamorphose, Past in Flames. Other Surveil land. Show me a good one. Persist. That gets back Solitude here. That's not very good. Reveillark. Well, I don't want to tap out for that, but I'm excited that I have it. We'll see what happens this turn, and I'll reassess the threat level. See if I can deploy something here. Anamorphose, just spinning wheels. I don't think this deck actually can go off without a reducer, and I have multiple answers to reducers in my hand. I'm just going to drop in this Solitude and start applying pressure. Gotta win somehow. Ephemerate rules. Didn't really need another one, but I'm not worried about Ral. End step, they fetch to 12. Another Surveil land. If they have the Flage pivot, I have that covered. There's Ral. Okay, I'm gonna Ephemerate Solitude in response and hope they don't have too many instants they could cast over top. Swan Song. Okay, would they flip Ral this early? Can I afford if they do? All right, I'll Ephemerate Solitude again. I think saving the March for a different type of permanent is pretty important. They could cast an instant speed ritual over top, get a flip, and if it turns into a planeswalker, they've saved themselves. I gotta hope to win this flip. Okay, they lost the flip. Do they have more instants to keep trying? They do not. Good. And then they have to flip on these two, and this might just be damage, but they can't get a planeswalker out of it. They won a flip, and they lost a flip. So that was just free damage. But with 4 cards in hand, 6 mana, they could send another round here, and I don't have a third white to march with. Like a Past in Flames here might actually be enough to combo out without a reducer. They have so many resources, and the graveyard's so big. There is a Past in Flames already exiled earlier from a Ren's Resolve. Triple and quadruple white have come up multiple times as mana requirements this deck might actually ask of me. Making a wish. They can cast a card from their sideboard this turn. Okay, they're relaying 8 cards. This is a big bank for next turn. Ritual, Foundry, Manamorphose, Resolve, Ritual, Impulse, Ruby, Resolve. Okay, I can fight another Ruby. I would much prefer... I will not be rebounding this, I'd rather attack. I would much prefer a lock piece, which I do not have access to. There's nothing that operates out of my graveyard here in a way that is useful to me. Yeah, there's so many instants in the bank that even if I do march this Ruby, which I am going to do, they could bank a ton of mana over top of it and see a ton of cards over top of this. Yeah, here comes the Manamorphose. There's multiple rituals over there. Ritual, ritual. Okay, that's gone. Resolve. Hit another ritual and a glimpse. They're still going. Resolve. Hit 2 more rituals. Or ritual land, I guess. Impulse. Found a Ruby. Okay, now I lose. Yeah, I needed to fade that one, I think. Ral. Things are double discounted. They could lose 6 flips in a row. Or win the first one. That works too. Alright, I've lost. We made an effort. Once again, moving pieces, a little bit of interaction, trying to get like a cool 5, 6, 7 mana thing going versus the powerful modern format where games are frequently decided by turn 3 or 4. We're trying out here, and I am having fun trying. I have done a lot of cool things.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 4. I almost like this hand. It needs a black mana. I'm going to keep on the strength of Elegant Parlor. I have 3 looks at a black source before I'm bummed out. Parlor, just show me a fetch land right away. Let's get this thing going. Solitude to the graveyard. The Ephemerate's a good draw as well. As far as things that are not black mana that I could draw, Ephemerate plays, the White Orchid plays, Relic of Progenitus. Okay, so we're playing against a Ketramos deck with main deck graveyard hate. Why can't anything be easy? It's just impossible for anything to be easy. I will at least deal with this Relic before I could draw a card. Don't want to play against that. My 1 main deck removal spell showing up right on time. Okay, so this is black-white, blink, with Ketramos is what we're up against. Nice. Nice. Fetch the black. Godless Shrine. Blood Crypt. I need triple white more than I need triple red. There is no Watery Grave in the deck. So Godless Shrine is the choice. I could also just, now that we're at 3, I could get Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, I'm actually going to do that. I think evoking a Muldrifter here is a better play than getting black mana at this point. Now that we know the matchup, we've already fended off the Relic. Muldrifter. All right, getting closer to Reveillark, and now I do have Goblin Bombardment for the sacrifice. I see the end step Felia. Okay, just a backstreet. I'll take it. Dumped Witch Enchanter. They're not looking for lands. Third land. Persist. Okay. Black mana. Still looking good over there. Sculler does pitch to Solitude. I'm not without options here. End step fetch. Another backstreet. Dump Solitude. And they do have Felia. I should probably roast this just immediately before they can untap with Ephemerate up. My Sculler's gone. I've given up on black mana. I'm off it. Exile Felia. Deal 1 to my opponent. Okay. Persisting back Solitude is a good play. A land for Reveillark at least puts Muldrifter into the game. Overlord of the Baelmerk, here we go. That can pick up Solitude or Witch Enchanter at least. I did think about all of these cards when I was building my deck, by the way. Emperor of Bones, Fudge. All right, yeah, that's really good. If they have identified that I care about the graveyard, getting Emperor of Bones makes a lot of sense. They got Ketramos, though. Okay, cool. What a relief. They only got the Busted God. All right, deck. How about an untapped land? No, just more Reveillarks. Shit. That was my window. There are 4 cards in exile right now, so Ketramos still a little sleepy. Oh no, they have another Felia. Okay, no, just ran out of non-basics to fetch. Godless Shrine from hand, shocked it. Ketramos with mana up. Okay. Suddenly, we're in. I will fetch my basic swamp to save damage here. And I will start to playing Reveillarks. This is a big creature that they're not incentivized to kill. And I have Goblin Bombardment to keep them from doing any exile tricks on it. Felia. Yeah, that one's good. This is whenever a card is put into exile from graveyards or the battlefield. All right, so Overlord of the Baelmerk, certainly a card. I could have killed Felia before they untapped. Maybe that's better. Or I think I should be focusing solely on comboing them out here. This comes back in the end step. Yeah, okay. So Buried Alive plus Goblin Bombardment is actually the loop here if they can't exile at instant speed from graveyards. Flicker Wisp. All right, where's this going? And flicker out my Bombardment, force the issue. All right, flickering the Overlord. Cool. Fair. So they draw a card and lose a life. The Overlord can at least get back Solitude, which then sets me back a turn. Right, Solitude pitching Prismatic Ending. I'm going to make them do this. Make them target Reveillark. Put 1 damage on Felia. Okay, ping Felia. Get back Muldrifter. Draw 2 cards. Ephemerate Solitude. Okay, that will also draw them a card. So they're targeting Muldrifter again. I will shoot Felia again. Muldrifter just needs to, find a black source. And the combo's still alive. Ketramos is awake now. I did find a black source. Okay. F6. Hope I'm not dead before my turn. They can attack me for 4. And what could they even do here? Solitude doesn't stop me anymore. They would need some sort of graveyard hate. Boggart Trawler doesn't have flash. Funny now that the Overlord is back. Ketramos is asleep again. Okay. Fetch Shock down to 7 for a black source. And I'm going to try to execute my combo here. Buried Alive. I have to do this one first. Which combo do I want to execute? I have so many. Okay. I think I want the Karmic Guide one. Karmic Guide. Do I want Skyclave Apparition in the mix? I get 3 and I already have the Reveillark. Already have the Muldrifter too. All right. Skyclave sounds good. And Tide Hollow Sculler, though, or it's graveyards or battlefield, so exiling from their hand doesn't matter. This is a loop no matter what, so I'll take a Sculler, and I'll persist my Reveillark back. We're in. Okay. 1 to you. Sack Reveillark. Reveillark gets back Karmic Guide and Tide Hollow Sculler. I want to beat up their hand first, make sure there's no second wave coming. Karmic Guide, target Reveillark, and I'm doing the trick where I sack the Sculler so the thing's gone permanently. They take 1, exile a card permanently from their hand. I'll take Fatal Push, I guess. Karmic Guide gets back Reveillark, Bombardment, sack the guide, and we have the combo. We did it. It has happened at least once in this league. Count it. Karmic Guide, Sculler, and we're just looping here. I'm not going to get the Apparition because then they could draw cards and get out of this. Should I ask my opponent if they want me to click through this? Is that good sportsmanship? Yeah, we did it. Cool. All right, the combo came together. We are in the pseudo mirror where they don't have a combo. Elish Norn, banger. White Orchid Phantom, Irrel. March, I probably just want spot removal where I can get it, but Ephemerate's really good, but I can kill Aether Vials with this too. That matters, so White Orchid Phantom's out. I don't think I'm going to want to Wrath them. I don't have any additional graveyard hate outside of the Bone Zones in my main deck. Reveillark seems insane here, though they did also show me that they have main deck Relic of Progenitus. Maybe if they have Relics and Vials, Stony Silence is good enough to consider. I'm still going to back off of the graveyard combo a little bit because they've shown me that Kiki-Jiki's still alive. I think Kiki-Jiki is great. Probably going to be heavy on that one. Thoughtseize is good. Early interaction, breaking up their chain before they could get the Overlord or the Felia going. The Bone Zone matters because of Overlord. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be burying anyone alive. And I still care about the graveyard a lot. So I'm still bringing in the Stony Silences. Okay, let's go. 1 lander. Disappointing, but I think I'm in. I'm on the draw. I have Surveil lands. Relic of Progenitus, you got it. Another Bombardment. I'll be fetching the Elegant Parlor here. Okay, they didn't immediately Overlord me. Elegant Parlor. Just show me a land. That card's actually good. Good enough to miss a land drop for? Maybe. Alright, yeah, I'll put it on top. Okay, I will pass the turn and discard a Goblin Bombardment. It's weird to make that play, but also we know what we're up against, so this is the type of interaction that can define what we're doing. Like this Felia right now. Now I don't even have to discard. I think I actually am going to pitch this Reveillark for now. Eat the Felia. I am going to Ephemerate because that puts them in the spot where they have to think if they're going to main phase a creature next turn. Cool. Overlord, you're in there. That hit nothing. 2 Overlords, Ephemerate, and a land. Can't take any of those. That's an unlikely W for Team Us. I'm not going to rebound. Drew a card I can't cast, but I have another Ephemerate up. If they somehow just fizzle off here, Ephemerating Solitude a few times might get me to where I need to go. They got a backstreet and kept the card. And they're just relicking themselves here. Building up that Ketramos. The future Ketramos. There's already 5 cards in exile. Pretty effective. Flicker Wisp. This is going to Overlord again. And I'm going to be patient on this Solitude. I'm not just going to spam off this Ephemerate. I think at some point in the future I'll be able to get more than 1 card out of it. They missed again! Wow. 3 lands and an Ephemerate. Oh shit, I forgot to get a creature at the end of that. Fuck, I messed up. I definitely should have Ephemerated because that is a real creature. Damn it, Brian. Why do you do this? Alright, Witch Blast Meadow, play this tapped. And I guess I'll pass the turn. If they fetch, I will Ephemerate then. Because that's where they can't Ephemerate in response. Okay, cool. They could Solitude with their last 2 cards, but they didn't. I'll take that Overlord, please. Okay. That was sloppy. Didn't get too punished. Ketramos already awake. 7 cards in exile. I'm out of tricks here. There is an Ephemerate on Rebound, though. Bone Zone. This can be an Overlord. And it's likely going to be. Here comes that. I'm getting attacked for 8 here. And they milled. They have to take Ketramos. No other choices. So Ketramos confirmed. The engine's kicking in. This would be a great turn to draw a Black Source. They hit Felia and Ketramos off the second Overlord trigger. And took Felia. So Felia Ketramos over there. They're fully online. I regret to inform everyone. Oh god, and they had a Solitude pitching Felia. Alright, well, bad news. I'll still take that Black Source though, deck. Ephemerate fizzles, no targets. Alright, I'm not going to play this game anymore. You win. Might have been a sketchy keep. I'll own that. Yeah, regrettably, my opponent's Ketramos Relic Progenitus deck has high natural predatory synergies against what I'm trying to do here. I still think we could do this, though. 2 lands, Thoughtseize in the mix. I will keep this. And I'm just going to start with Thoughtseize. They have cards like Relic, like Aether Vial, that I would prefer not to be in the game at all. There's Relic. I play basics. I'm not worried about Phantom. I could just Thoughtseize, then Sculler the 2 Overlords. I'm not going to do that, though. Alright, I will take the Relic. And I have to not fetch my basics because that will get punished if I run out of them. Did they draw 1-drop? Oh, that's annoying. Why do I even play Thoughtseize? Why is it in the deck? A waste of my life and my time on this mortal earth. Alright, we're going to have to outvalue them. I think I'm going to Sculler and take the Flicker Wisp. And I'll get Blood Crypt to do this. That doesn't leave me with a lot of white mana. No, Sacred Foundry is better. Yeah, Sacred Foundry is better. Okay, I'm already holding a non-white land. I already have the black. Relic in response, you got me. That Hollow Sculler does put a card in exile. I'll take Flicker Wisp. And off we go. Concealed Courtyard, so we're working with perfect info. Milled over a Felia and a Boggart Trawler. They'll be taking the Felia, no doubt. Wow, they took the Trawler. Interesting. Are they worried about my graveyard, or do they think they need 4 mana? Either way, it's interesting. Okay, Steam Vents, play Muldrifter, because that's the play that I have. I have Felidar Guardian. We're working towards value. Okay. Solitude's a nice one to find. Land number 4. I need 5 mana for this Elish Norn to come down. The Queen Mother. They can get the Muldrifter out of the graveyard without popping the Relic. I just haven't fetched enough times this game. But I don't have a Reveillark in my near future, so that's probably okay. Here's the Phantom. They can take me off blue. I've cast one of my 2 blue cards already, and my other blue land's in my hand. Yes, get a Plains. I do have these. There's Reveillark. Do I want to flicker Tide Hollow Scholar? Does that even matter? And putting a 1/4 into play is nothing. Being down a white card in my hand might be something, though. Though I probably should not count on Karmic Guide this game. Yeah, I think I will play the Felidar Guardian. I can use it to untap one of my lands if I don't want to flicker Scholar. But I could also just remind myself what's in their hand. Okay, I am going to flicker Scholar. And I have to stack this to make sure I actually can take the Flicker Wisp again, which means stack the Exile under the return. It is possible to do that wrong. Okay, Flicker Wisp is still the card I'm most worried about here. I don't love the Bone Zone. But yeah, Wisping this Overlord is really powerful. I would love to just draw a land before I deploy the Solitude. If I can double that trigger and really cook their board, that's so much better. They're fetching land number 4. Okay. How bad is the Bone Zone here? I'll see what they target. If they target Felia, that could flicker Overlord. They are targeting Felia. Am I worried about this? Am I worried about this enough to spend my precious Solitude right now? I think so. Hate it, but here it is. Exile the Bone Zone before Felia kills me. Okay, Felia's gone now. The Overlord can't pick it up. There's currently no targets in their graveyard for the Overlord in their hand. That would be a blind flip, which is generally pretty good, but we know the opponent has been running bad on that. Okay, Overlord, Moment of Truth. hit nothing. Wow. Milled over Grafdigger's Cage, Vindicate, Thoughtseize, Marsh Flats. This would be a great turn to draw that land, though now I have to worry about these double overlords. Come on, deck. The mother. The big Norn. Oh. Would I rather kill Relic of Progenitus, kill Overlord of the Baelmerk, or resolve Elish Norn? And killing Overlord is so good. Alright. I am going to Witch Enchanter and kill an Overlord. The smaller one. I'm not really doing anything with Reveillark yet to need to worry about killing the Relic. A little worried about my life total. They do have a flyer. And Reveillark also flies, but if they just bounce it or flicker it, I have no value because of the Relic. I am on a 4-turn clock to their 3-turn clock, though, so they have to put something into play that will affect the combat. We know they have Trawler. They could just go 3-1 blocker mode. Ephemerate on Witch Enchanter is now really good. Oh no, Boggart Bog is land number 5 taking damage, so they drew either Solitude or Overlord. Oh, annoying. And this will kill my Sculler, getting back Flicker Wisp, and then their whole combo's online. Alrighty. Deck, I need your help. Another Sculler. Alright, I can take the Flicker Wisp back again. Might as well. So we're basically in the same spot we were last turn, except Overlord has impended one closer. Do I want to offer Witch Enchanter for Solitude? That makes their flickers worse. Okay. No, that makes the race worse if I can't actually trade with Solitude. I don't feel favored, but there are, like, if they just draw 2 lands in a row when I get Elish Norn down, this could go my way. That's a land, count it. That's 1 fade. They could still pop Relic to draw if they like their top card right now. They kept it on top. Bummer. And they won it immediately. Just the worst of all worlds. We fought so hard over Flicker Wisp, and now they're getting it back again. But not till next turn. Once again, Elish Norn from the top rope. Come on, deck. Give me the goods. Give me the goods. Give me the goods. We're about to lose this game if you don't. No! I'm so far away from triple red. Okay. I have now lost the game. Yeah, I needed this to work a lot sooner than it did. The Witch Enchanter could have been land number 5. That was a decision made. Still not sure what I do about Overlord in that environment. It's fun, though, to just play against the top spread of modern meta decks. We're at least putting our brew through the ringer onto the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in the final round versus a Kahira strategy. Control decks historically have not been very good versus Reveillark strategies. It's just really hard to contain the value that a Reveillark can offer. We'll see if that's what they're actually doing. They did mold a 5. That's tough. Well, what you got over there? Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize, that 4-card hand. Wow. Okay. So this is a control deck. I could seize the counterspell now and then resolve seize next turn. I could take the Brain Surge now and try to screw them. Yeah, I'm going to take Brain Surge, actually. This helps me make a plan. If they ever, like, spend a mana to preordain, I can then Thoughtseize the Jace. And I know that I can dance around until they have 4 mana. Dumped Prismatic Ending. They're just looking for lands here. That is the land I saw. Skyclave Apparition deals with Jace. Got that on lock now. I think here I'm going to fetch Elegant Parlor in the end step and then get Hallowed Fountain on my main phase. And then I have all my colors and I can evoke Mauldrifter, see if that's something they want to counter. They did find a land. Most importantly, though, I have double white for if they do just Jace here. Elegant Parlor. Buried Alive. Well, that's my combo. I have the Persist already. And then next turn I can Thoughtseize plus Buried Alive if I don't need to answer the Jace right away. Hallowed Fountain, evoke Mauldrifter. This is such the perfect card because the opponent doesn't want to counter this, but they might anyway. Yeah, they did. Cool. Can't afford to, can't afford not to. And now, is there a land alongside the Jace in their hand? Does not seem like it. Oh, I don't have black. And the colors in this deck are tough. 4 is a lot of them. Okay, I could Thoughtseize now, or I could send Buried Alive. I think I'd rather Thoughtseize now. If they just counter this, it's fine. Spell Snare, Otherworldly Light. All right, I'm taking Jace. That's the real card in their hand. Spell Snare does beat the Persist. That's a later problem. All right, they just bought Kahira. Tapping out. If I draw Black Source right now, Engine's online. Of course I didn't. I could just Persist Muldrifter here. That wiggles around the Spell Snare a little bit. In a spot where I'm actually getting value, and I am trying to hit land drops. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Persist Muldrifter. Raucous Theater. Marsh Flats. Do I want Marsh Flats now? I found another Black Source. I don't think I need Marsh Flats. Land number 4. Shocked it in. Oh, they drew another Jace. Good job. And now the Brainstorm mixes up everything, and I don't know what to believe anymore. But I do have this thing covered. Okay, Skyclave Apparition. Exile Jace. Attack for 1. And I will play out the Viscera Seer. If they have a Wrath, we can dance around that. This is a suspicious card. If they didn't think I was a combo deck already, they should now. Kahira's in. That gives me a target for Solitude, which also further overextends me into a Wrath. I think I can live with that. Oh, I just drew Reveillark. Okay. I could Solitude now and just push what I got. I don't have a loop yet, but I'm very close. I could play Reveillark, sack Muldrifter, sack Skyclave, sack Reveillark, get back Muldrifter, Skyclave, kill Kahira, and draw 2 cards. That doesn't really do anything, though. I'm going to cast Solitude, and then just attack with the creatures I have. Alright, they just scooped it up. Don't even want to know what my endgame is. This deck does have basic lands, but they also have tech lands. We saw at least one creature land over there. Even raw land destruction. Fulminator Mage could play here. Jace cannot be exiled. It's not one of the things that this hits. I did not build my sideboard for hard control, and I don't think I need to. I'm glad I didn't. I do want Fulminator Mage. If that gets going, it's going to be devastating. I'm mostly going to give the main deck a chance to do its thing here. I'm going to shape one of the Solitudes, get Fulminator Mage in here, and just go back in. This is what we came with. Thoughtseize, Sculler, Buried Alive, the Nut Curve. Keep. Opponent kept 7 this time. They're much more serious about this game. A Blood Crypt, Thoughtseize. Opt Jace. Alright, Jace is going to go out of this hand of weak cantrips and conditional removal. They are playing actual miracles, though. We've seen now Brain Surge and Opt. I am going to spend a turn surveilling. I don't need to Sculler them right now. Archive, Archive. This can also fetch basic if they just ram a Harbinger of the Season to play, which is something their deck might do. Bought Kahira. No fear of the discard. I've already shown them just putting the Companion in the hand, tapping out, telling me they don't have a counterspell. If you tell me stuff, I'm going to listen. Oh, there's Reveillark. Okay. I will fetch basic Plains and cast Buried Alive. Buried Alive. I'm going to get Karmic Guide, Kiki-jiki, and Reveillark Guardian. Because with Karmic Guide, Kiki-jiki in the graveyard, once Reveillark resolves, they can never remove it. Or else I have infinite creatures. They can't sweep it, they can't exile it, can't do nothing. They bottomed their Opt. Field of Ruin. Okay. So they're not going to have Harbinger of the Seas. And now I'm glad there's one basic left in my deck. I'll take a little Scholar peek over there. We know they have March, so this is mostly just look at your hand and flesh out March. Okay, March ending, Lorien revealed, Terminus. I'll take the March. I'll at least make you spend mana on your own turn if you want to kill Scholar. No counterspells visible. We might get our field ruined in the end step. Yep. We do have a Swamp. That's all of them, though. Out of basics. If they have any more land destruction, it's going to be Strip Mine. Mystic Gate. Are we sending the Lorien revealed like a boss? Prismatic Ending, sure. So now one slam to rule them all. Raucous Theater. Don't need Godless Shrine. Draw for turn. Thoughtseize. I could wait a turn and Thoughtseize Reveillark all at once. I could Thoughtseize them now. It's so bad if I miss. Okay, I'm gonna just play a land and pass. Go for Thoughtseize Reveillark all in the same turn. Like, if they just drew Counterspell this turn, it's so bad if I play Reveillark. Cycling Lorien when they have the mana to cast it is a show of strength. Archive. I'm going to fetch Hallowed Fountain in the end step. Turn my blue on. Solitude. Okay, Thoughtseize you. Start there. And they did have a Counterspell. Well, might not get any better. Cast Reveillark. Okay, there it is. If they can March of Otherworldly Light, then untap and Terminus, they can actually beat the loop. If they just cast Terminus here, they're in trouble. Brain Surge, that can set up a Terminus. I can Solitude my own Reveillark if I untap, or if I end up with a white card and make instant speed creatures. Okay, they are pitching. They pitched Terminus and Lockdown. So Reveillark's gone. Get back Karmic Guide and Kiki-jiki. And then Karmic Guide targets Felidar Guardian. If they try to remove Kiki-jiki in response, I can copy Karmic Guide and get Felidar Guardian again. Felidar Guardian, target what? It doesn't matter. I wish I had one more creature. Oh, wow, they've had enough. Did they just turn on my Kiki combo? All right, we did it. The final round, fending off the reverse trophy, finally assembled Kiki-jiki. We did both combos. This deck was an adventure to play. I think if you want to just do less exploring and do more winning, you should cut either the Buried Alive Persist package or the Kiki Felidar Guardian package. We don't need both of those things happening. And 3 or 5 more slots in the deck is a lot. You might want to play 1 or 2 Persist, even if you don't have Buried Alive, just because we are having a deck full of ATB synergies. But Goblin Bombardment is the real deal in Modern, as we know. Having a way to go infinite off it is pretty sick. I think if I revisited this, I would probably add 1 land. Maybe a Triome that covers 3 of my colors, or another Surveil land. Just up 1 raw land. I think Kiki is worse than the Buried Alive Reanimate stuff. Those 3 slots, I would add another land, another Seasoned Pyromancer, and maybe another removal spell, like another main deck March. Just something that deals with generic permanence in a way that isn't pitching a Solitude. You could even play with 1 Buried Alive if you're looking for another slot. Those are cards that I think are flex slots, and you might not need a Viscera Seer. I just wanted a Reveillark outlet that loops with Reveillark rather than needing a secondary enchantment. Like, you can Buried Alive for Reveillark, Viscera Seer, and Karmic Guide, and then you have infinite ETBs going. ETB exit TBs. Enter and exit TBs. Maybe that matters, maybe it doesn't. But I like this as proof of concept. This league was also proof of concept that Modern decks are really powerful. Surprise, surprise. I would cut Kiki, add lands, Seasoned Pyromancers, just get lower to the ground, make sure you have more functional hands. But this was a lot of fun, and I hope it is inspirational to Matthew in his quest to revive Reveillark. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.